So I had a very profound dream the other night. I have a lot of dreams, and several of my dreams have come true in my life. Several of my dreams have guided me through my life. I've been shown visions and things that would happen in my dreams. And so the other night, I had one of those dreams, and this is how it went. In my dream, it was at nighttime. I was in the middle of a big street, like an intersection, and I saw a older lady and a young girl walking in the darkness. It didn't look very safe, so I asked them if I could help them, walk them wherever they were going. So I start walking with them, and it's a dream, right? So some things are weird. So there's this active shooter in the street, and he's got a rifle, and he's just shooting, right? And so I get them out of harm's way. We make it past the active shooter, and then we're walking, and I realize that we have a long way to go. So I said, look, why don't y'all wait here? I'm going to go back, and I'm going to get my car. It'll be much quicker. So I go back. I get past the active shooter. I get my car, and then I get back to the lady and the girl, and I get them to their home. Well, when we get there, they lived in poverty, and they didn't have any food. And I noticed there was a couple of small debts on the table that the lady wasn't able to pay, and they were really causing her a lot of stress that she couldn't pay this debt. So I grabbed them and I said, hey, I'm going to go get y'all some food, and I'm going to go ahead and pay this debt off for you so you don't have to worry about it. So I go and I do that, and I come back with the food, and I come back with the receipts, and I showed her that I'd paid off that debt, and she didn't have to worry about it anymore. And the lady was just crying. She was so happy. She didn't have to worry about this debt anymore. Now they had food. This debt had been weighing very heavily on her, and she didn't have any peace. Well, right then, in my dream, I heard God's voice. And I always know it's God's voice because he never speaks like in verbally. You just know that it's God's voice when these things happen. And in my dream, he says to me, it's because you love her that you love me. And it's because you love me that you love her. And you have shown her love, and you have given her peace, and you have given her joy. Therefore, I will give you love, and I will give you peace, and I will give you joy. And then I woke up from this dream. And I didn't want to go back to sleep because I was afraid I'd forget the dream. I kept thinking about the dream, and I was so afraid if I fell asleep I would forget it. But no, I woke up, and that dream was clear as day, still in my head. So I told my wife Leonore about the dream, and then we go to church, and I told a few friends at church about the dream. And it was a very profound dream for me. Well, exactly 1 week later, 7 days from Saturday to Saturday, I was at this Mexican restaurant having lunch with my wife. And my wife kept looking over my shoulder at something. And then she starts whispering across the table to me. And I couldn't pick up everything she was saying, but she was saying something about the lady and the little girl behind us that it looked like they didn't have any food, like they were sharing a small plate of something. And she asked me if I would just go please pay for this lady's meal because it looked like they were probably struggling. So I said, okay. So I go to the register, and I pay for my meal, and I pay for their meal. And when I turned around and walked back towards her table, I could finally see what my wife was seeing. And that lady and the little girl were all the way up in the corner of the booth sharing a very small plate of rice and beans. And I walked to the restroom. I came out of the restroom, and when I came out of the restroom, the lady was bawling. I mean, crying out loud. Tears running down her face. And I didn't know what happened. I go and I sit down, and my wife says that the waitress had walked by. And the lady had asked her, like, how much for one tortilla or something. And the waitress told her that somebody had already paid for her meal and that they would bring her a few more tortillas. And so um, my wife told me that she had a little bit of cash in her pocket, and she asked me if it would be all right if she went over there and gave it to the lady. And I said, yeah, go ahead. So she goes over there and she asked the lady if she could sit down for a minute, and the lady said, sure. And my wife tells her, God just told me that he wants me to bless you. I just feel like I need to bless you with something. I don't know what you're going through. I could tell you're going through something, but God wants you to know that whatever you're going through, he's going through it with you, and he's going to get you out of this. And the lady she was just bawling. And my wife says to her, I have a little bit of cash on me. There's all the cash that I have in my pocket. It's only $65, but I want you to have it. And the lady was crying, and she was just like, the lady says, all I have is $10 to my name. And my little girl was so hungry. She's been telling me all morning she's so hungry. She wants something to eat, and we don't have any food. I didn't know what to do, so I brought her here, and we got the little plate of rice and beans. And, they brought 3 tortillas with the rice and beans, so she gave the little girl 2 of those tortillas, and she ate one for herself, but she left a little bit of rice and beans on the plate in case the little girl was still hungry. And that's why she was asking for the extra tortilla. And anyway, so the point is about my dream relating to this is, in my dream it was an older lady and a little girl. They didn't have any food. They had a small debt. I went and paid that debt for them, and they got food. And I just feel like when God shows me these visions, these dreams, they're for a reason. And I just feel like sharing this story will help bless others, because I can't tell you how much love and joy and peace that helping them brought me and my wife. And I would love for everybody to feel that. That's all I want to say. Thank you.